Hey guys, it's Dave. I initiated a trade on holding, no pun intended. Like I said, here's my focus list down here. This was on my focus list for the week. What really got me interested in this is we can see it balancing here, kind of in this range, and we got a breakout of that range in late August. I don't buy initial breakouts. I wait for them to retest because I like confirmation, because otherwise things like this can happen. This had potential to be a decent setup here if it held that 10 EMA, but it didn't. So we got a nice pullback, a huge whip out for these quite a few stop runs here. And then it closed back green. So it went red to green. This big old bottoming tail on volume is what initially got my attention. It tells me, hey, it wants to look back into that range, but it failed to do so. And so now it's just kind of holding the top of that range. We have a nice another bottoming tail here. So it's holding and respecting the 20 EMA now. And then today we have a nice little slightly increased volume, nothing crazy relative wise. As you can see, it's only 0.84. But this is why I love having trade ideas up, because it shows me all of this information that I like. And some of my favorite stuff is a short growth people have been covering, right? But short float is 13%. So this, if they continue to cover, that will provide bids, and buyers will continue to rise price. So that's the idea. It's been consolidating here, or range bound, broke the range bound, coming back, testing the range, and it's pulling back to the retest area, the breakout area. This is, you can also call this a 20 EMA pullback play as well. I consider it a kind of a base break with a 20 EMA pullback / retest. So that's how I found this, thanks to Trade Ideas. Going on how I actually trade, we can see for specifics of trade setups, this is what I use for when I'm at work. So this is, you can see it's just kind of rounding here, right? We're in a nice uptrend. It breaks these highs, retests it right here, breaks these highs, and I'm treating this as a retest of this high and pushing higher. If it can break these topping tail levels, maybe around 46, I am looking at a retest of these highs. As long as it keeps on running. So I'm going to unhide my drawings here. Okay. So we can see that uptrend line. This is what I was looking at more so here. We can ignore the white lines for now. That's kind of what I use for entry. So here's the base break, come back, retest, big old whip down, everything I just said. There's a 20 EMA. If we look on the 30-minute time frame, this is where I kind of look at potential entries. We can see that on the retest of the area, it broke this downtrend line. Then it came back and retested that downtrend line, and it chopped sideways, kind of created a balance here between 45.20, let's call it, and 44.15. And then today, at the end of the day, kind of retested and broke those the high of that balance area. My stop loss, so I enter on the 5-minute, so you can see just this balancing here. The reason why I liked to enter today, number one, I did enter at work, so I didn't have the best entry, but it is what it is. I know when I'm wrong, and I am wrong below this bottoming tail. I have my stop loss at 43.30. So ideally it should, if I am wrong, that means this breaks the downtrend line. It makes a lower low. It goes to the opposite range of this balance. It is going to fail the 20 EMA, which is part of the setup of this. It's going to fail the 10 EMA. It's going to fail the anchored VWAP from this bottoming whipping tail here, right? So sellers will be in control. I don't want to be in a trade when I am long. I don't want to be in a trade when sellers are in control anyway. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, is what it is. I move on. So when I entered, if I'm going to pull up my volume profiles that I like to use here. When I entered, this was high of day right here, this light blue line. It broke high of day, had a nice little stop run. That stop run carried to break yesterday's high of day, and which was also this high of day on last Friday. And then it even ran these highs around 45.38 as well, and it hit that's basically when it hit that supply area, which is right in between here where we had the introduction of supply. So I'm not shocked. What I can see here, I mean, ideally, again, entry, I could have waited for the base for the breakout here, high of day, and then the retest of the high of day to enter here. I didn't have an additional 15 minutes. I had to enter and go. So is what it is. The trade setup was there. So ideally, it gets a little pullback. It's over the anchored VWAP for my entry. And I can kind of see it continue on upward. Maybe this next level of resistance is 45.54, how I see it. But if it clears that, that kind of breaks this area of consolidation. Maybe 45.86 would be the next level. Here's the anchor VWAP from this prior high. The day of the high, I did anchor one here, and it's like a 15-cent difference. It's more so down here by 45.95. I'm not going to be nitpicky about that. It's an area, not a fence, right? Not a hard iron fence. These lines. So I'll be looking at these levels of the white lines, and then ultimately a retest. Maybe it goes up here, retests, pull back to one of these, and then continues the overall uptrend. And so I can just kind of ride this out as the 10 EMA and 20 EMA start to curl higher. That's kind of what I'm looking for. But if I am wrong, then I know my risk and I just move on.